We were ready to proceed on the 4th of June for the witnesses to come, cross-examine them. Now that they're saying they should come in July, we're still more than ready to face them when they come to Malawi, assuming they'll manage to come to Malawi.
The arrangements have to be made. Discussions, international cooperation has to be there, making sure that the order of the court is duly accorded its effect.
Coming up, South African government has it all to do to either send 10 of its witnesses to Malawi to testify, or the Bushiri extradition could be up in smoke. South African government have to fly its 10 witnesses to Malawi in the second week of July 2021 to testify in the ongoing extradition hearing if it wants the Bushiri's extradition back to South Africa. Chief Resident Magistrate Patrick Chirwa did not mince words when he dismissed the state's application for South African witnesses to testify in the extradition of the Bushiris through video conferencing. The state last week was supposed to parade South African witnesses in the magistrate court in Malawi as ordered by the Chief Resident Magistrate Patrick Chirwa in March, but the witnesses failed to show up. The state explained that the cost of travel and the possibility of contracting the coronavirus were some of the reasons outlined by Director of Public Prosecutions, Dr. Steve Kayuni.
In South Africa, we're in a third wave at the moment, and the fact that we have the Indian variant as well, that is taking its course. And for that fact, and the fact that the witnesses, for them to come here, a number of them, will really be a situation whereby their conditions, the importation in Malawi, the now and again issue of themselves getting infected. We did put that before the owner of court.
The magistrate, in his ruling, said the state did not provide enough evidence that will hinder the physical availability of the witnesses in the country. Quote, COVID-19 has indeed affected some parts of the world. External travel continues both in Malawi and South Africa. And as the defense argued, the Malawian airlines travel to South Africa except on Tuesdays, he explained. Magistrate Chirwa further faulted the state for not providing details of witnesses' underlying conditions which will expose them to greater risk to the outbreak if they travel to Malawi for the case. Dr. Steve Kayuni says the state will abide by the court order to get the witnesses to Malawi by the second week of July.
It's a court order, and it has to be respected, and we'll have to go by the dictates of the order that the court has made. The arrangements have to be made. Discussions, international cooperation has to be there, making sure that the order of the court is duly accorded its effect.
Lawyer for the Bushiris, Wapona Kita, expressed delight at the decision of the court and says he is ready to cross-examine witnesses in court if they were to show up.
Well, we feel very good. We feel happy. We are happy that the court has agreed with us on all the grounds which we are raising in objection. And in fact, the court has even gone further perhaps to make it clear what it requires, what it wants to be done in this case. And that is exactly what we too want to be done in the case. That is what we have been expecting all along. We have been prepared ourselves for that kind of exercise. We were ready to proceed on the 4th of June for the witnesses to come, cross-examine them. Now that they're saying they should come in July, we're still more than ready to face them when they come to Malawi, assuming they'll manage to come to Malawi.
Prophet Shepherd Bushiri took to social media to welcome the ruling of the court. My wife and I welcome the ruling because after years of being accused without being tried in South Africa, we will finally face our accusers in the country. This was supposed to be done 3 years ago in South Africa, but we had so many stories why witnesses could not show up in courts, typical of unfair trial gimmicks. Soon justice will prevail, unquote. For Prophet Bushiri, this is a vindication of his long-held position that this was persecution and not prosecution.
I was in South Africa. I was attending all the courts for almost 3 years. I was going to court and we were being told excuses after excuses. I never had a trial in South Africa for almost 3 years. I appeared in the court several times, and witnesses never showed up. So when I hear what they're saying today, that witnesses cannot come, despite the ruling that the magistrate had made on the 29th of March, in this year that the witnesses must come over according to the law. I was not surprised, not shocked. This also confirms my statement that I've been saying, that what I was passing through in South Africa was persecution, not prosecution. So far, we don't know who the witnesses are, but as I said, that for the past 3 years I was in South Africa, I was going to court together with my wife, and since we came to Malawi, we have never absconded in a court. We have been here, coming here all the times, but the same story, there are no witnesses that are showing up physically to come here. So this is the same thing that we have been saying, that we are passing through persecution in South Africa, and we went through a lot of things, and including death threats and a lot of things, and this confirms to what we have been talking about.
South Africa has it all to do if the Bushiris will be returned to face trial or not. Bushiri's followers say there are no witnesses, but the so-called witnesses are a smoke screen to persecute the Bushiris. The state says 10 witnesses are ready to testify.
The witnesses are in South Africa. They are, all of them, their statements are there in the request that was submitted to the Republic of South Africa. The defense has all the documents. The court too has all the documents as to which ones of the witnesses are there, and that these witnesses testify to what issues.
Well, the case has been adjourned to the second week of July 2021, when South African witnesses are expected to testify.